So this is November 25th. You know what that means? Exactly 1 month from today, we will be celebrating Christmas. So I thought, what better place to start than by reading the Christmas story from the second chapter of Luke. In those days, Caesar Augustus declared that everyone throughout the empire should be enrolled in the tax lists. This first enrollment occurred while Quirinius governed Syria. Everyone went to their own cities to be enrolled. Since Joseph belonged to David's house and family line, he went up from the city of Nazareth in Galilee to David's city called Bethlehem in Judea. He went to be enrolled together with Mary, who was promised to him in marriage and who was pregnant. While they were there, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to her firstborn child, a son, wrapped him snugly, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the guest room. Nearby, shepherds were living in the fields, guarding their sheep at night. The Lord's angel stood before them. The Lord's glory shone around them, and they were terrified. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. Look, I bring good news to you, wonderful, joyous news for all the people. Your Savior is born today in David's city. He is Christ the Lord. This is a sign for you. You will find a newborn baby wrapped snugly and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great assembly of the heavenly forces was with the angel, praising God. They said, "Glory to God in heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors." When the angels returned to heaven, the shepherds said to each other, "Let's go right now to Bethlehem and see what's happened. Let's confirm what the Lord has revealed to us." They went quickly and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in the manger. When they saw this, they reported that what they had been told about this child. Everyone who heard it was amazed at what the shepherds told them. Mary committed these things to memory and considered them carefully. The shepherds returned home, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen. Everything happened just as they had been told. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Amen. I know some of you are thinking, that's the story you read Christmas Eve. You're not supposed to read it yet. And I know others are thinking, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Can't we at least have Thanksgiving before we jump into Christmas? And you may be right, but I have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but it's the plan I have. I want to look at Christmas movies between now and Christmas. I started with a list of the top 10 movies, and then I did a little non-scientific research. I asked my wife. And I came up with a list of 5 movies. And I think if you were to make your list of the top 10 movies, most, if not all of these movies would appear in your top 10. They are in order that I'll talk about them: Elf, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, White Christmas, Polar Express, and It's a Wonderful Life. You might want to watch them if you haven't seen them recently, if you don't remember them, or if you've never seen them. I do have the DVDs if you want to borrow one to watch either before the sermon or afterwards. I don't know which order you would rather do that in. But today we're going to talk about Elf. And as we begin that, let's look at what the trailer looked like when that movie came out.
New Line Cinema proudly presents a little holiday story. One Christmas Eve, Santa Claus got an unexpected gift of his own.
What in the name of Sam Hill?
30 years later,
Let's recite the code of the elves, shall we?
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Buddy's discovering who he really is.
not like the rest of us. I was sure when you cracked 6 feet that it would come up.
My bad.
You're not an elf.
Now, he's taking a journey to find the family he's never known in a place where he finally fits in. Boy, and nothing's going to stop him.
Sorry, your car's pretty.
Will Ferrell is Elf.
Hey, what's your name? Someone need a hug? God! Nutcracker!
Catch the holiday spirit.
Just trying to hug you.
How many of you have seen that movie? Not all of you. I honestly don't think I saw it when it came out, but I'd seen it on TV enough that I thought I knew the story. Turns out I hadn't really sat down to watch the whole movie. The movie, as this trailer depicts, is really about an elf. Well, he's a human who's adopted by Santa and the elves. His name is Buddy. And when Buddy is 30 years old, he learns he's not really an elf. So he goes in search of his biological family. He finds his biological father, who is a Scrooge-like character, I guess the best way to describe it, who really doesn't want to have anything to do with Buddy. He sends him on his own. Now, eventually they learn to like each other and actually love each other, but not before Buddy and his father save Christmas, or save Santa anyway. But my favorite scene is when Buddy, who has come into this world he's never lived in before, is looking for a gift for his biological father, and he gets recruited to become an elf. Talk about stereotyping. You know, here he is, dressed up like an elf. He gets recruited to become an elf in Santa's workshop. And while he's still trying to figure out what that looks like, he finds out that Santa is coming. Buddy gets really excited about the idea of Santa coming to the store. As you might imagine, most of the employees, however, are not. To them, it means crowds. It means squalling kids. It means, well, it's the kind of stuff that some of you probably contributed to this weekend. It's the kind of stuff that some of us try to avoid at all costs. We don't want to be there when there's all those people, all that traffic, all that congestion, and that incessant music. Some people just can't wait till the music stops, even before it starts. Some of us are out there thinking, we got to wait till Christmas before we hear a Christmas carol. Not Buddy. He's excited. Let's see how that scene looks in the movie.
Are you mad at me? No. Sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Just do your job.
Okay. Wow. What's this?
This is the North Pole.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Where's the snow?
Why are you smiling like that?
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
Make work your favorite. That's your favorite, okay?
Okay.
Work is your new favorite.
Fine.
It's time for the announcement. Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh, my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
He'll be here to take pictures with all the children.
Yeah.
Just keep your receipts. 10 a.m. tomorrow.
10 a.m. tomorrow.
Santa's coming to town.
Yes. Can you sign this for me? Oh, hi. Santa's coming.
If you've seen the movie, you know that from here, Buddy, who knows what Santa likes, I mean, he spent 30 years at the North Pole, he spends time decorating the store. I heard a little trivia piece about, between services, about how many man hours it took to create that scene. Buddy does it in one night. The irony here is that at the North Pole, he can't keep up. His non-elf genes make it impossible for him to do what all the elves do without thinking about it. But when he gets to this store, to Gimbel's department store, he works like a madman. He's furiously redecorating the whole place. He cuts out paper snowflakes. I'll get it right. He makes this giant Lego tower that's incredible, all in one night, all to get ready for Santa to come. And I don't know what that looks like in your house as you get ready, as you decorate. When I was a kid, Thanksgiving weekend was the weekend we pulled out all the decorations. I didn't like getting on a ladder, and I didn't like going on the roof, but I got really good at handing lights up to my brother and my dad who were on the roof decorating. And then there was the tree. We used a live tree most years. Well, not live, it was cut. But you know what I mean. It had been live at one point. Sometimes we bought it in a store parking lot. Sometimes we went out and actually cut it down ourselves. Every time we got it home, however, it never fit. We had to cut it some more to make it fit. And there's something about the smell of a tree that just makes Christmas come alive. And then there was the baking. My mother baked cookies like crazy. We had dozens of different kinds of cookies and dozens of each kind. She started baking early in November. We weren't sure we could get them all eaten before Easter. The running joke was she wouldn't let us touch them until it was time to set them out. And I don't know what her criteria for the time was, but when they went out, it was amazing to see all of these cookies. Now, I know you have your own traditions. You have those things that you do that makes Christmas Christmas, whether it's part of the decorations or some other thing. You've probably also learned what I've learned, that over time, those traditions change. Our family sizes change. Sometimes it grows and we can't fit around the same table, and so we add another table. Sometimes people move away and the table gets smaller as fewer and fewer people can make the trek to wherever the celebration is. But you probably have something that you do that is essential for Christmas. It might be that you need that tree. It might be you can't wait to get that pecan pie. Some of you, it's the Stan Kenton brass that we'll have here next week, that without that, it is not Christmas. Some of you, you have to go buy a toy and put it to the angel tree or Toys for Tots. That's what Christmas, that's what makes it Christmas. For some of you, it's writing a Christmas letter or maybe opening that first Christmas card. Others, it's that annual trip through the neighborhoods to look at the Christmas lights. Or maybe seeing the Nutcracker. Maybe you're one who needs to go Christmas caroling to make it Christmas. We all have our own traditions, and there are some people who get so focused on those traditions that they forget what it is we're celebrating. They think that one tradition is so important that it can't be Christmas without whatever that thing is. Those are the people who are a lot like the employees at the Gimbel store. They put out the same old decorations every year because that's what you always do. And in the process, they've lost the joy that comes with the season. Now, Buddy's enthusiasm may be more than you can handle. But Buddy understands it's about celebrating and finding joy. I think that's why it's important for us to read the story today. To hear again this story with awe and wonder and delight. To recognize the miracle that's happening here of God coming to us. I mean, even Mary gets excited. You see, at the time that this takes place, there are no traditions. The shepherds are just doing their job when they get the incredible news that God has come. And they leave what they're doing and tell somebody. They celebrate with joy and excitement. In the movie, they have a way of measuring that excitement and that joy of Christmas. It's a little dial on Santa's sleigh. It's called a clausometer. It measures how many people really believe in Christmas. And it is woefully low. So low, in fact, that some of the elves had to design a jetpack to help the sleigh fly. In the end of the movie, Buddy and his biological father and another employee in the store help move the clausometer so that there is a sense of joy and excitement about Christmas that's coming. Now, I don't know what that clausometer would look like in your family and in your circumstances, but I hope you find a way to move the dial. Move the dial towards that sense of joy and excitement, that anticipation of what God is doing. Because you see, God loved you so much that God sent Jesus. That's something we all ought to be getting excited about. Christmas may be a month away, but it's not too early to celebrate. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Let's sing together. Joy to the world.